Let's go. I can't lose. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Cause we on the ride. Yeah. Come on. Let's get ready. There's no way you can stop us. Full back, man. I'm a roster. Let's get ready. I ain't trying to lose. No matter what side I choose. Let's get ready. It's only my second lap. No OT, no second lap. Let's get ready. I ain't trying to lose, man.
Hard by the banks of the Ohio River, an all-American sports city. Welcome to Louisville, Kentucky, internationally known for the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs, and also the makers of one of the most famous pieces of lumber in the world, Louisville Slugger. And they certainly know about fighting in the city of the Ville. The greatest, Muhammad Ali, followed by two more world champions, Jimmy Ellis and Greg Page, all coming out of Louisville. And tonight at historic Louisville Gardens, we introduce you to an up-and-coming mixed martial arts league, the American Fight League. Welcome to HDNet Friday Fight Night. Greetings everyone from the Bluegrass State. Kenny Rice along with the gold medalist Jeff Blatnick. We're glad that you could be with us for another edition of Friday Fight Night here on HDNet and introduce you to the American Fight League, which we think has a chance to have some good up-and-coming fighters in this.
Oh, no doubt about it. They're up and coming, going amateur, turning pro. Lots of talent down here. And hey, I haven't heard of very many organizations coming out of Kentucky. So these fans really get a treat here tonight.
Like we said, they know about boxing here in the state of Kentucky. MMA is relatively new, but this has opened up a very big audience for fighters from the Midwest all the way to the South. We will see them from Kalamazoo, Michigan, all the way down to Fort Worth, Texas. We will also see Chris Wells coming out of Ohio in our feature fight, going up against Rhomez Brower, who is coming out of North Carolina. Very interesting matchup.
Yeah, it is. Wells, an all-state high school football player, an all-American football player during college. He's trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so he does have submissions, but he likes stand-up, his big punch, the big left hook.
Well, as you mentioned, there's Wells, the coach. Brower is a barber at a military base. I bet nobody talks back to him on their haircuts.
No, I bet you they don't. He has a wrestling background. He added striking with Muay Thai and boxing. He likes to set an aggressive pace, and if you look at his record, he's got some KO, so watch out for the power in his hands.
It is Chris Wells against Rhomez Brower. That will be our main event. Standing by right now with Brower, let's go to our own man on the scene as always, Ron Kruk. Ron.
Thanks, Kenny. Rhomez Brower, you have been in the cage with some of the sport's toughest fighters. Well, my friend, it doesn't get any easier tonight as you take on Chris Wells, 8-1. Talk about your opponent. What do you expect from him?
Well, I expect for him to be trying to take me down. You know, I'm looking for him to try to take me down, probably do some ground and pound. But, you know, I'm not going to, overestimate what he can do because he might come out trying to do anything. But pretty much I expect for him because I hear he's a pretty good wrestler. You know what I mean? I'm really not sure what his stand-up skills is, but, I'm pretty sure he's trying to probably hit me with some good hands and everything. So I plan on trying to keep the distance, try to control the gap, and defend the takedowns and catch it with some good shots and just kind of pick them out.
This card is stacked with some young, hungry fighters who would love to make mixed martial arts their full-time gig. But before you can do that, you guys actually have real jobs to support your fighting habit. Tell us what you do when you're not fighting in the cage.
Yes, sir. I'm a full-time barber. Actually, I cut most of the military clientele. I work in Fayetteville on Yakin Road, Kim's Barbershop, with a bunch of great guys. But, and then whenever I'm not fighting, I'm trying to get my training in, and then I'm working, got to keep the bills paid, got to keep everything straight. So, just trying to enjoy life.
There you go. Now, the majority of your fights have ended by way of knockout or TKO. Should we expect that again tonight?
Yes, sir. I'm definitely going for that. My hands are natural. I'm just a natural striker. And, when I'm in the ring, I just do what comes first. And my first thing is try to knock him out. I just love to do that. That's what I do. So just look for some nice blows from me. But either or, I take whatever comes, a submission, whatever he gives to me. I'm not being choosy. A win is a win.
Absolutely. We look for some fireworks tonight. Kenny, Jeff, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ron. It is Brower against Wells as we take a look now at the rules here in the state of Kentucky, Jeff.
Well, there's no kneeing to a ground opponent's head. You cannot kick the grounded opponent's head. No elbow strikes, point of elbow strikes, which is vertical elbows, and you are not allowed to grab onto the fence to save yourself from going to the ground.
It's now time for our first fight of the evening. Making his way to the cage, 29-year-old Stu Hassler calls himself the convict. He says that's because he looks like one. He wants to reiterate he has never served 1 day of jail time.
Well, background in kickboxing and taekwondo. Look for him to be striking with the leg, high kicks especially.
I made it.
Good.
Making his way to the cage, 19-year-old Chad Fyffe. He's out of Frankfort, Kentucky. Brings a record of 2-0 in a very young career.
And he's a solid wrestler. A state champion out of Kentucky at 171 pounds. Look for him to put it on the ground and strike.
Looking at the tail of the tape, Stu Hassler with the height advantage over Chad Fyffe. Will he be able to take advantage?
Introducing first, the fighter to my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 169 pounds. He has a mixed martial arts record of 9 wins with 5 losses. From Kansas City, Kansas, the convict, Stu Hassler! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighed in at 171 pounds. With a mixed martial arts record of 2 wins and no losses. From Frankfort, Kentucky, Chad Fyffe!
Listen to me. You guys have any questions about the rules of this fight? Do you understand? Obey commands at all times, fight hard, touch gloves. Left your corner.
This should really be entertaining. It is a fast fight. 5 1.5-minute rounds. And fast fight means no action taking place. They're not going to be all over the mat. Somebody's going to be trying for a submission. Somebody's going to be trying for a knockout almost immediately.
And they get a break after 1.5 minutes, so there's lots of energy.
Going all out, Chad Fyffe, the wrestler, getting it on the ground, getting some punches in quickly on Hassler. Hassler trying to get away.
And Hassler might be in a little bit of trouble here. Going immediately for Fyffe's leg, but the strikes keep raining down.
Fyffe will have none of that. He moves in closer, avoids those up kicks. And here comes Fyffe one more time. Fyffe with that wrestling background, showing some punching ability.
Hassler's taekwondo and kickboxing background really give him an advantage in the standing for the kicks. But here, these ground and pound tactics of the wrestler, Fyffe are so far dominating.
Fyffe, 19 years old, he's 2-0 as a pro. Throws that leg away and tries to move in closer to Hassler. And again, early going, it's Fyffe in this first round. This is a quick fight, remember, 1.5 minute rounds.
Watch the back of the head, watch the back of the head, watch the back of the head.
Can't hit directly to the back of the head. But those aren't, right there, those are connected too.
Good first round for Chad Fyffe. Former state wrestling champion out of the capital city of the Bluegrass State.
He fell right into it.
It's Hassler trying to put it away with an armbar. But will time run out on it? Fyffe trying to hang in there.
That's a triangle really right now is what he's fighting.
George no. Saved by that 1.5 minutes there. He'll get to regroup.
And I'll tell you what, Hassler didn't really have to do too much to get that triangle. Fyffe fell right into it.
As you see, Fyffe in the corner, he said his style is drunken monkey. What's that? He said, I fight like a drunken monkey.
Well,
I saw that movie on a plane, I'm sure.
You got to admire a guy that's honest about his fighting style.
There you see Fyffe dominating early. And then Hassler is able to lure him in, starting for the armbar, going then for the triangle here, Jeff.
He just keeps holding his head down in there. He first went after the leg. And watch those up kicks. He's good at them. But when he's down like this and his hands are away from his head, there's where he falls right into the triangle.
Hassler, meanwhile, moved to Kansas City, Kansas recently. He is working out of the same camp of one Rob Kimmons. We saw Rob here on Friday Fight Night, coming up about 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas when he lost the IFO middleweight championship to Marvin the Beastman Eastman. Now round 2 underway, and Kimmons starts out, turns around, and slams Fyffe to the pavement here.
Triangle again is there.
Can he work it in this time? And I mean, he bounced him off that mat. It was like throwing him against concrete, but look at Fyffe, he's right back up.
And there's not much room now for Hassler to move. Oh, he's gonna sweep him, he got it.
And he did. Hassler, more experience. Is it gonna pay off here?
Now, if these rules stay true, Hassler's really got to get busy or else it should be stood up.
And you might have heard George yourself saying, I'm going to stand you up, and he does. I love the fast fight.
Now, they get you to the standing position. The grappling purists will be a little upset.
Oh! A spinning back kick by Hassler, met by Fyffe, and Fyffe has him down.
He just didn't quite get his leg extended enough for full power, but it was a right on target, and again he's going to sweep him.
And he does sweep, and again Fyffe is in trouble on his back. But now remember, Hassler has to work quickly here. Now he's coming with the hammer fist, and giving his back is Fyffe. Fyffe not in a good position, but time could be on his side.
He's not even defending his throat. I can't see his right hand from
He's
here.
trying to get a rear naked choke in. He's working hard with his right arm on that rear naked choke, but again, the clock winding down here in round 2 of this fast fight. Wow. Saved by the bell, Chad Fyffe.
I'll tell you what, 1 round apiece. And the wrestler able to get the opponent down, but he got swept twice. And there's that spinning back kick, but he just didn't quite get the extension to put full power. Here it is, another shot.
Whoa, you can see.
Yeah, that was close. A little bit more, and that could have taken him out.
That sobered up a drunken monkey there.
I'll tell you what, that set the tone for the round. It was all about Hassler. I give him credit. I didn't know he was this good on the ground. He didn't talk about his jiu-jitsu training at all. He talked about kickboxing and taekwondo.
Hassler, a 9-5 record, again moved to Kansas City, Kansas. Says he feels more comfortable fighting out of the Midwest. And again, his nickname is the Convict because he said, you know, I've always looked like this. I lost my hair early. I've never done jail time, but I love the nickname. Here we go, round 3 of the fast fight.
And there, a left hand puts Hassler down. This fight has gone back and forth.
Look at Fyffe now. Figure it might be a round apiece. Maybe it's Fyffe's turn.
Armbar again, and that's it. That's it.
Hassler got it. That was it. Fyffe got in a little too close and that quick in this fast fight in the third. Stu Hassler with an armbar submission gets the victory.
Well, Hassler was patient. He weathered the storm, and he showed the triangle early in this fight. And the combination triangle, and then switch off to the armbar right there. You see the extension on Fyffe's elbow at a tap.
So Stu Hassler picks up the victory, now 10-5, and Chad Fyffe has his first professional loss. Let's go back to Sean McClure to get the official
winner of
verdict.
this fight, by submission, due to an armbar, the Convict, Stu Hassler!
Hassler picking up the victory, and don't you love this American Fight League fast fight? Action-packed, standing by with the winner. Ron Kruk. Ron?
Stu Hassler, I guess that's why they call it a fast fight. Non-stop action. Talk about it.
That was a lot of fun. I knew he was a tough guy. I thought I'd be able to sneak a submission in there somewhere, so I just kept on throwing them up, and I got the armbar.
You almost caught him several times, and with only 1:30 in these rounds, couldn't get the triangle in, couldn't get the armbar, but then you finally did finish.
Yeah, you just keep on trying for him, and you'll get him.
Yes, you did. All right, congratulations. Big win for you.
All right, thank you.
Kenny?
All right, thanks, Ron. And so Stu Hassler didn't talk a lot about his ground game, but it worked for him there. Missed out on an armbar and a triangle in the first round. Missed out on a rear naked choke in the second round. Got the armbar to end the fight here in the third round. Coming to the cage now, 24-year-old George Lockhart, a record of 5-2, a 6-year Marine Corps veteran.
With a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, his favorite submission, the Kimura. But he doesn't mind standing. He's got the ability to knock his opponent out.
On his way to the cage is Chris Crawford, a former star football player in high school here in Louisville. He's turned to MMA and he is making his professional debut tonight.
He's been working on his wrestling. He's mainly a stand-up fighter, but if he gets it down, he'll look for the ground and pound. His favorite submission, the Kimura.
Taking a look at the tail of the tape, George Lockhart is a taller fighter, has the height advantage. Can Chris Crawford keep it in close?
Introducing first, the fighter out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighed in at 184 pounds, and is an active duty Marine. He has a mixed martial arts record of 5 wins and 2 losses. From Camp Lejeune, George Loaded Lockhart! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner has a mixed martial arts record of 5 wins with 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighed in at 182 pounds. From Louisville, Kentucky, Chris Conflict Crawford!
Listen to me. Do you guys have any question about the rules? No question? Fight clean, fight hard, touch gloves.
2 popular fighters here.
I thought we were going to hear Warren Zevon and Werewolves of London there for a minute. A lot of howling from the crowd and from Mr. Crawford.
Crawford, a football star in high school in Louisville, went on to play defensive back at Campbellsville College. In between colleges right now, he's thinking about going back to the University of Louisville, working on a computer science degree, trying to pick up some money to do that by turning pro. This is his pro debut against Marine veteran Lockhart. And Crawford takes him to the corner.
Crawford says he wants to bring it to the ground because Lockhart wants to keep it standing. Interesting. Lockhart, however, looks to be the stronger physically. What a specimen.
Lockhart, the 6-year Marine, he does have the height advantage, the reach advantage on Crawford. And Crawford, though, standing and exchanging with him in the early going of this fight, and now gets him to the mat like he wanted to. What can he do with it? Look at that left arm on a headlock right now. Can't get under there for an arm bar, and right back up with it is Lockhart.
Had a shot at some knees there, tried to throw one late. Nearly got there, but Lockhart able to get back into what really is a neutral position of standing.
Lockhart with a good low kick.
Boy, that had some pop.
You can hear it reverberate around here. And Crawford, though, will stand up again, push him against the fence.
I'm impressed with Crawford's tenacity.
Going for the single leg, can't get the takedown. But Crawford hangs right in there. Absorbs a knee in the process, and then another one.
Hanging out of the shorts, referee all over it. That's technically illegal. It could be a violation of foul.
Meantime, Crawford takes a couple of more knees to the midsection, now a third one. There you see the strength of George Lockhart taking over. Chris Crawford in his pro debut here. And look at Crawford, though, back with the punches and landed a couple of good ones on Lockhart.
Solid right hands. Made Lockhart back off.
Crawford says, let's bring it on. I'm fighting for school money here, Marine boy. Crawford again, good combination.
He's got the faster hands.
Crawford again, good right, and another good right on Lockhart. Best exchange so far for Chris Crawford here in the first round.
And this is a great way to neutralize the power of Lockhart, is to get inside, really where he can't bring it all to bear. And he's got him up against the fence where he may be able to rip the legs out.
Very smart fight here for Chris Crawford in the early going. Those punches to the side not doing a lot of damage. They're very active, though. And again, Crawford warned for grabbing onto the shorts of Lockhart. And now with the slam is Crawford showing strength of his own. Lockhart wanted a stand-up fight here, but Crawford's willing to give it to him.
Good flurry by Lockhart. He's got him going.
Lockhart with the knees. Crawford now tries to shoot in. Lockhart sprawls. And again, one for grabbing the shorts.
He hasn't let go yet. There it is. He just looked. I think he's going to assess a foul at the end of this round.
It's about the fourth time the referee, George Giselle, has had to pull the hands of Crawford away. Now they're back up. Crawford
got a mouse under his left eye. That last exchange by Lockhart.
Took a good shot there from Lockhart.
Very attritive.
Crawford comes back with another right, though. Pushes Lockhart against the fence.
Seems Crawford does his best work counter-punching, waiting for Lockhart to throw him, coming in after it.
Little redness under the right arm of Lockhart as well.
Great fight so far. It's gone back and forth.
30 seconds to go here in round one. Crawford able to catch his breath at the moment and hang on through this first round. Lockhart, the more experienced fighter, but Chris Crawford has given him everything he could ask for here in the first 5 minutes of this fight.
And Crawford's left side's got to be bruised from all those shots. But what a furious pace.
Lockhart appearing a bit frustrated as he walks back to his corner.
Well, Crawford buried his head. He couldn't hit anything but the ribs at that point, but each had their flurries. But I think Lockhart had that one devastating flurry. It looked as though he might be able to take Crawford out, marked up Crawford's face.
Let's take a look and listen now at this.
Ouch.
That hurts even on replay, that low kick there from George Lockhart.
And that's how he opened the fight up. He hasn't gone back to it, really. I thought that was a great strike there. Why not keep doing it? That'll slow Crawford down.
And the strongest punching and kicking for George Lockhart, even though in the middle part of that first round, Chris Crawford with a couple of good combinations. Lockhart, 24 years old. 6 years in the Marine Corps, twice has been deployed to the Mideast. Let's go to Ron Kruk now. Ron.
Thanks, Kenny, with the familiar face to Friday Fight Night on HDNet, Lieutenant Brian Stand. And Brian, you're in the corner of George Lockhart tonight. Assess his performance.
Oh, he's looking real good. I mean, his striking's sharp. His takedown defense is solid. You can see Chris can't take him down. So the second round, he's going to finish it right now by TKO.
Brian, I know you just came back from your second tour of duty in Iraq. Welcome home.
Thank you very much. It's great to be home.
Here we go. Kenny, back to you.
Thank you, Ron, and welcome back. Lockhart now trying to put it away here in the second round on Chris Crawford, the youngster making his pro debut.
If he stands up, watch for the knee, if it comes back up. Crawford looks fatigued. He looked fatigued in the corner during the break.
Lockhart standing back up, saying, let's stand back up. Crawford having trouble standing. He is winded. Chris Crawford may not be able to make it unless he gets a big, deep gulp of breath here in the next 30 seconds.
He's suffering from the ultimate submission, cardio.
And now a couple more punches. This is going to be it. This could be it for Crawford. He took 2 good punches from Lockhart, now another. And he's pushed right against the fence, and somehow Chris Crawford is hanging on.
He doesn't want to duck. Those knees can come flying up.
In this position, he's not getting the hold on, but he takes a solid one, and the towel's thrown in. That's it. The fight's over. They threw in the towel, a big right knee to the side of the head of Chris Crawford. That ends the fight. TKO for George Lockhart here in the second round.
Well, it seemed as though Crawford ran out of gas. Lockhart really was in a groove, great striking skill, and really those knees took a toll as well.
I tell you, Jeff, I'm surprised that Crawford even made it another 30 seconds to be in a position to take that knee. I thought he was almost out on punches.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Just seemed Crawford ran out of gas. Had a gallant first round, got his shots in. But Lockhart, big, strong, and he's a Marine. He's trained to take punishment.
I like Chris Crawford's style here. He won a Legends Fighting Championship for amateurs up in Indianapolis. We saw him on Friday Fight Night about a couple of months ago, and makes his pro debut. And it's a tough one to make against a guy like George Lockhart.
And he did it all with striking. He's got jiu-jitsu background, but he did it with strikes.
All right, back to Sean in the ring.
The winner of this fight, by a referee stoppage in way of his Chris Crawford's corner, threw in the towel, the United States Marine, George Loaded Lockhart!
That was my first one. That's good. It's great. Tough.
A big win here against a tough youngster in Chris Crawford, but George Lockhart picks up the victory, 6-2 now, and he's standing by with our Ron Kruk. Ron?
George Lockhart, what a war that was. Can you believe that your opponent making his professional debut hung on for so long?
Oh yeah, that's definitely impressive. I told the crowd that no matter what he threw at me, I'd keep coming back again and again. I just never expected him to keep coming back again and again as well.
Could you sense that he was getting fatigued?
Yes. I mean, I was betting on it. I was hoping because, you know, if he didn't, then, you know, that would have been a hell of a war, even more so.
Active Marine fighting for sport and for our country. Give a shout out to your platoon.
Yeah, I definitely want to throw a special thanks out to my platoon who's here today. I definitely want to throw a special thanks out to former OIC and a training partner, Brian Stan. Also want to throw out, I dedicate all my fights to the Lord. So this one's out to him and to my wife.
Congratulations. Not bad to have a guy like Brian Stan in your corner either.
Oh, not at all, not at all. He's the best out there, man, the best out there.
Very good. Okay, guys, back to you at cage side.
All right, thanks, Ron. Booyah! There is George Lockhart, and a big win, and some of his Marine buddies here. And they're cheering him on as he picks up another victory. Coming to the cage, 28-year-old Tim Stout out of Peachtree City, Georgia, 11-6.
Had a chance to get on the Ultimate Fighter, didn't quite get there. Also been in some tough man competitions. He likes the standing. He's a right-hander.
Making his way to the cage is 25-year-old Matt Shaw. He's out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Comes in here with a record of 15-5-2. He has been in mixed martial arts since back in 1998.
Started out with Japanese jiu-jitsu, added some judo, and switched over to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He prefers to punch, but he likes the armbar or heel hook submission.
And looking at the tail of the tape, they look like they will match up well. Tim Stout against Matt Shaw, both with a lot of experience, about the same height and reach.
Introducing first, the fighter to my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet tall, weighed in at 170 pounds. He has a record of 11 wins and 6 losses. From Peachtree City, Georgia, Tim Stout! And his opponent has a mixed martial arts record of 15 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws. He stands 6 feet tall, weighed in at 171 pounds. From Kalamazoo, Michigan, Matt Shaw!
Listen to me, guys. Do you have any questions about the rules? Yes, sir. Obey my commands at all times. Fight clean, fight hard, touch gloves.
As we get ready for round 1, Tim Stout and Matt Shaw. Both with experience,
ready to fight.
Similar styles.
Fight.
As you look at Shaw coming out from Kalamazoo, Michigan against Tim Stout from Peachtree City, Georgia.
Stout's been boxing since he was 14, and he's been in MMA now for 5 years. 10 KOs of those 11 wins. So you know he's got power in his hands.
Try that spinning kick there. Matt Shaw has seen about everything as well. He got into mixed martial arts about 7-8 years ago. Spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. Another kick there by Stout. And now showing the range of Stout, he was able to deflect that, was Matt Shaw.
When I talked to Shaw, he felt that Stout was going to try to take him down. He wanted to keep the fight standing. Interesting, he tried to take him down right there.
Shaw with that background in jiu-jitsu. Tim Stout very comfortable though and continues to work on those leg kicks.
And that last one had an effect on Matt Shaw. He winced a bit. See if Stout goes back to it again. It's like
Shaw,
chopping a tree down.
Yeah, very efficient, very quick with those kicks. Remember, we saw that roundhouse kick that was deflected. That kick has him down. That kick has him down. And he is unable to go on.
The kick before really hurt him. I saw him wince. You could tell that he changed his balance on his leg. And the last one there put him away.
The powerful leg of Tim Stout sends Matt Shaw to the mat. He can't get back up, and the fight is over. And for those who may not be familiar with MMA or watching it for one of the first times, you don't normally think about a guy who would, let's say, be knocked out by a kick, but this is some kick with some real force behind it.
Without question, and what you're doing is you're taking away mobility, and a lot of people who aren't used to leg kicks don't realize the impact and effect that will actually have. Referee George Giselle all over that. This goes all the way back to the heyday of the UFC when Garland Garland's got chopped down by Marco Ruas. Garland's 6'6", 300 pounds, and here Marco Ruas, a littler guy, just kept whacking away and eventually brought the big man down.
And you see Tim Stout, who runs his record to 12-6. He got into this because he was watching on TV, the UFC, said, hey, it looks pretty interesting. And that's how he began his career. I'm a pretty good athlete, I'll start training.
And that's how most people start. It starts with something catching your attention, piquing your interest, and then you develop the passion for it, and you start training it full time.
Moab's his nickname. You might also call him Superfoot if Bill Wallace will give us that nickname for the night. Because Tim Stout with the big kick. And now Ron Kruk is roaming around in the stands and has discovered one of the many celebrities here tonight at Cage Side. Ron?
That's right, Kenny, with the athletic director of the University of Kentucky, Mitch Barnhart. And Mitch, talk about these fights. Are you enjoying yourself tonight?
Great card tonight. A lot of guys giving great effort. Unbelievable card. Good fighters and a lot of fun.
Now, a lot of people might not know, but you actually do some mixed martial arts training. Tell us about it.
Not like these guys, just play, just cardio and try and stay in shape for an old guy.
So there's no chance we can get you on the next AFL card into the cage?
No.
Well, there you have it. Football season's coming up. Kentucky's coming off a big bowl win over Clemson. Talk about the upcoming season.
Well, we're excited about it. We've got a lot of guys coming back. Obviously loved a lot in this building, but we got a lot of good guys coming back. We're excited about Andre Woodson and Keenan Burton and Raphael Little. A lot of fun, so we're looking forward to it.
Mitch, thanks for the time. Enjoy the fight.
Well, thanks so much. Good to see you.
Kenny?
Thanks, Ron. I'll tell you, Mitch Barnhart's a tough guy. He's a University of Kentucky athletic director, but we're in Louisville.
Yeah.
Which is like a gazillion miles away in terms of attitude and cheering for teams. So the Cardinal fans here...
I would say that's a strong interstate rivalry, to say the least.
Indeed it is, but the UK athletics director hanging tough amidst the Louisville crowd.
Hey, you got to give him a lot of credit for having the courage to stand up on the enemy's turf and to talk with class.
You're watching Friday Fight Night on HDNet.
And welcome back to historic Louisville Gardens. You're watching the American Fight League here on HDNet Friday Fight Night. Out of Lexington, Kentucky, Rob Nickerson on his way to the cage. Now was a high school football star, one of the tops in the state. Turned a couple of years ago to MMA with a 4-2 record.
Boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, these are the two main components of his style. He's a right-hander, likes arm bars.
Lance, the invincible Vinson out of Georgetown, Ohio, now making his way to the cage. He is on a roll. He has won 4 straight, a record of 6-1.
Background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He wants to fight on the ground. His favorite submission, the rear naked choke.
Looking at the tail of the tape, Nickerson and Vinson almost identical in the way they're built and identical in mixed martial arts experience.
This fight is for the American Fight League Amateur Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, the fighter to my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighed in at 171 pounds, with a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and 2 losses. From Lexington, Kentucky, Rob Nickerson! And his opponent to my right, fighting out of the red corner, stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighed in at 170 pounds, with a mixed martial arts record of 6 wins and only 1 loss. From Georgetown, Ohio, the invincible Lance Vinson!
Listen to me, guys, because my jaw's fucked up. Do you have any questions about the rules?
No, sir.
No questions. Obey my commands at all times. Fight clean, fight hard, touch gloves.
This is for the American Fight League Amateur Welterweight title. Lance Vinson coming in here out of Georgetown, Ohio, has won 4 in a row, 6-1 overall. All 6 of his wins by rear naked choke. He in the black trunks. In the black and white is Rob Nickerson, 4-2, former high school football star in the state of Kentucky, now attending the University of Kentucky.
And Nickerson, a former boxer, probably has the advantage in the striking, but Vinson has taken out 2 of Nickerson's teammates, both by rear naked choke.
Well, look at Nickerson trying to work on a rear naked choke of his own, but spinning out of there is Vinson. And Vinson trying to deliver some punches and avoid an armbar situation.
Triangle armbar.
And now the triangle, is it getting in there closer?
Oh, look at
is
that
Nickerson
arm.
going to do it? Nickerson working the triangle and the arm, and is he going to pull it off? Rob Nickerson must have got some advice from his teammates. He's trying to submit Vinson here in the first.
He likes arm bars, and he's got that triangle in kind of nice, but as long as Vincent stacks him, he can take some of the pressure off. He's got his arm out now.
Vincent avoiding the arm bar. Nickerson still trying to work a triangle in there on him, but Vincent with a height advantage.
Switching to the arm lock.
A little bit of one, trying to stand up out of this.
Now here comes the armbar attempt.
And right back at it, though, is Nickerson. Nickerson very active here in this first 2 minutes of this fight.
Watch your back.
Keep going, Mike. Keep going.
Nickerson trying to crawl, Vincent trying to posture. And Vincent now finally is out of danger. Let's see what he can do. Right back into the triangle, though.
And right back into it. Rob Nickerson trying the triangle a couple of times, tried an arm bar. He has been very aggressive here in the early going of this. 1 minute to go in the first round. And now standing him up and slamming it is Vinson. Vinson using that leverage to stand up and slam Nickerson down and break free of that triangle.
Those are some nice punches now, starting to work through Nickerson's guard. Nickerson now trying to make his way to his feet. Vincent pushing him against the fence, trying to find the leverage to put him back down. Should step in front of that leg. Now maybe 2 hooks and a rear naked choke, but doesn't get it.
Well, Vinson has won all 6 of his fights by rear naked choke. Certainly not in a position for that. On his back again. So far, he's been trying to avoid being submitted by Rob Nickerson here. And Nickerson, does he have any kind of ground and pound game?
He had an opportunity there. It seemed that Nickerson threw a right hand, was off balance. He could have tried to sweep, but he missed it. And I think Nickerson here with his boxing background, right out of time. 3 3-minute rounds here. Ran out of time there, but it looked as though Nickerson's punches are a little strong.
Very strong first round for the 24-year-old out of Berea, Kentucky, Rob Nickerson.
That was a fast 3 minutes.
Okay, Nickerson here on the bottom, and you see him go to work. He was trying the triangle, trying the arm bar. He was trying everything, and Vinson slams him here, Jeff.
He actually had it sunk once, but somehow Vincent got out of it. It looked like his arm was all torqued up in there in an arm bar as well, but Nickerson able to survive, and at the end of the round finally got on top and ran out of time. But Vincent was ducking. Triangle, armbar, triangle. Good submission attempts.
There's a good look at Rob Nickerson. Recruited by some colleges after his football career. Went straight on to UK to be a student. And has gotten involved. He's got a history major, minor in political science. Said he's enjoyed mixed martial arts. That's another way of expressing his athletic form after the old football career was over. And he's done quite well as an amateur with a 4-2 record, fighting for the AFL amateur welterweight belt.
I don't know, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm actually going to give that round to Nickerson because of those strong submission attempts.
Very strong first round for Nickerson. Now Lance Vinson, again, all of his wins, tries with the sweeping kick, won't go, instead gets a right. And now another good right by Nickerson. Nickerson with the kick. Vinson swings and misses. Jeff talked about Nickerson having the better boxing background. It's showing here, but there's the slam by Vinson. Vinson wanted to keep this on the ground as much as he can. Now for the first time, he gets to be the aggressor.
He's almost a side mount. Nickerson's just got his left knee in there. Might get the half guard now. That's a guillotine attempt here. Able to get a sweep.
Rolling over is Rob Nickerson. And now Nickerson again coming back, trying to get some punches in. No damage to the head that time, so he'll try something else. A forearm, perhaps. It won't quite make it as well.
Oh, it's a good sweep by Vinson.
Vinson is now back on top. How do you like this grappling so far?
It's been good. The sweeps tell me, though, that they're a little bit inexperienced in there and they're not real comfortable, but at the same time, they're both going for it, and when you take risks, things happen.
Vinson standing up, trying to get a little more leverage, not able to do damage, though, from that punching position.
You got to respect Nickerson. He seems to have some good submissions. Vinson now trying to get his ground and pound game going.
Vinson has been able to end fights early, but not this time. Nickerson's hanging right in there with him and working again. Trying for that armbar now. Look at the power of Nickerson.
Oh, he was going for the rear naked choke.
Vinson, that's his strong point.
Yeah, he was willing to go over the top and look for it.
Oh, now he's trying to go with the armbar, working on the left arm of Nickerson. Nickerson pulls away.
And he has a shot at a rear naked choke now.
Now Vinson giving the back here to Rob Nickerson.
And they are just going back and forth with sweeps, reversals.
There you go. Look at full guard. He's going to hop around. There you go.
Vinson, nice job trying to pass the guard. Nickerson's long legs, though, able to stay in there, and now going for that triangle again.
Lock your feet right now. Just lock your feet. Don't worry about it.
Nickerson tried a couple of times already with the triangle, tried with the armbar. Oh, he gives his back to Vinson. Vinson has won them all by rear naked choke, but he's not going to be able to get it in there right now.
He's got the hooks in. Now he'll try to stretch the hips out. There it is. He's got it flat. Now he'll work on the neck.
Time is running out here, though, in round number 2. They will go to the third round to decide the American Fight League Amateur Welterweight. Very entertaining fight so far between Nickerson and Vinson.
Vinson got up smiling, kind of angry at himself. He knew he had the opportunity, just ran out of time. It does look, though, that Nickerson's breathing pretty hard in his corner. Cardio now coming into play.
As we take a look at action there, here's Vinson going for the takedown.
Nice double, but you can see that Nickerson also had that head of Vinson trying for the choke, and here going right back at it. Triangle armbar combination, but Vinson able to dodge the bullet again.
And there you take a look at Lance Vinson.
He looks very relaxed and calm, very clear-eyed. He's listening, not putting his arms up and hanging.
I asked him, I said, how's your workout program going? He said, by trade, I'm a roofer. I'm up there in that hot sun every day right now. That's how my workout goes.
Carrying those shingles up the ladder, no easy task.
So that's how I stay at 170, and sometimes I have to eat a little more to get back up to 170. As we get ready for the third and final round.
I gave the second round to Vinson.
Good low kick by Nickerson, and Nickerson again. Vinson misses, Nickerson delivers a right.
Now this is where the cardio will all come into play now.
And trying for a choke is Nickerson. Nickerson trying to work inside there, does not have it. This round looks like the one that will decide it, Jeff. A flip of the coin perhaps to this point.
Now this could be a very important takedown.
And getting the takedown is Vinson. Vinson hung in and got Nickerson on his back. But remember, Nickerson has tried arm bars, tried the triangles. They haven't worked, but he has been very active, especially in the first round. Now maybe a Kimura. He's working on the Kimura.
And he's in a pretty good position. He needs to get his left leg out. If he can't tee off, he'd have great pressure, but breaks the hold. Let's see him go to ground and pound.
I'll say this, Nickerson has shown us a little bit of everything, hasn't he? He's tried about every submission you can get except a heel hook.
And even though he looked tired there, he still seems to have plenty of energy.
Pull your arm out.
24-year-old Rob Nickerson on top. On the bottom is Lance Vinson, also 24. Two amateurs.
He's bringing the leg up. I thought he might try a triangle.
But working on the side is Rob Nickerson. Nickerson getting some good body punches in there.
Smart tactic.
Look at that.
Smart tactic. Rip the ankle out, keep him down. Didn't look for too much.
And Nickerson continues to score with some effective body work here. Vinson showing his strength, standing right back up. With the underhooks, though, is Nickerson.
And Vinson gets a sweep. Back and forth these two go.
Lance Vinson showing you his strength there.
Let's go.
Not a lot of damage this round, though. Just mainly positioning.
You wonder if some of those early strikes in this round will pay off for Nickerson.
He's going after Nickerson's left arm.
He's trying for the arm bar. Nickerson is trying to get a rear naked choke in the meantime on Vinson. Vinson is trying for the arm bar to end this. 12 seconds to go. George Giselle is right there looking on. Is it going to end with a submission? Final seconds to go. It will not. It's going to the judge's decision to decide the AFL Amateur Welterweight title.
And the last thing the judges saw was Nickerson on top.
Good job. Good job.
Lance Vinson said, "Help me up, ref," to George Giselle. They laid it out for 3 very exciting rounds.
What an entertaining fight. I mean, that was a grappler's dream come true there. Back and forth with sweeps, submission attempts, takedowns. There were some solid punches, but neither fighter really looks damaged.
Do your arm okay?
I had it locked pretty good.
Dude, it was bent. It was bent. It was bent this way, the other way. He didn't want to tap. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah. That's a good job. You
Yeah,
always do a good job.
yeah, I'm not going to stop for the fight, dude, but it will freak me out.
Well, as we heard from George Giselle, hey, he wasn't going to stop those guys. They were going at it on the ground. I'm kind of summing up what he said.
Oh, yeah.
But
not quite as colorful.
Yeah, Rob Nickerson and Lance Vinson going the distance. It's in the decision of the judges.
All 3 judges score the fight 29-28 for the winner and new American Fight League Amateur Welterweight Champion, Rob Nickerson!
Rob Nickerson has won a unanimous decision over Lance Vinson to get the American Fight League Amateur Welterweight bout.
What a great fight. You see the camaraderie afterwards, but these were 2 warriors, 2 great grapplers.
And good sports, both of them. As you see Nickerson, he knows he was in a battle from the opening bell with Vinson. And now standing by with the new champ in the amateur ranks of the AFL, let's go to Rob.
With the winner, Rob Nickerson, and what an incredible battle that was. We saw a little bit of everything from the arsenal. Why do you believe the judges gave you this victory?
Well, I think I finished strong in the 3rd round. The 2nd round could have went really either way, so I think it was a lot how I finished. I think we should got to give it up to Lance. He was very game. I tell you what, I thought I was going to come out and push his cardio and really pull away in the 2nd, but hey, he kept up and pushed a hell of a pace of himself.
As a local guy here from Kentucky, to win this belt, it's got to be very special to do it in front of the hometown fans.
Oh, yes, sir, it really is. And hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out, because this sport can only continue to grow with fans like this that come in and get into it and fill up these seats.
Now, you were in a motorcycle accident only 2 weeks ago. How'd you feel coming into this fight?
Well, I'd rather not tell my coaches about that, but...
Sorry.
That's all right. Hey, I feel fine. I got no excuses. Lance really just made me push it to a different level.
Congratulations. Kenny, back to you at cage side.
Thanks, Ron. Rob Nickerson out of Lexington, Kentucky, and Berea, that area of central Kentucky, goes to UK. And Yeah, he did have a little bit. He got banged up a little bit on that motorcycle crash a couple of weeks ago. He said, I won't call it a crash. Don't tell my coaches till after the fight if I won. Well, he's got the AFL amateur welterweight belt as we take another look at it here, Jeff, and he did close strong.
Yeah, he did. Here he's going for a Kimura, and he really gets Vinson's arm stretched out, brings him around. If he didn't get his left leg trapped in that guard, he'd have been in a position to put him away right there. But that was the talent. He threw submission after submission at Vinson.
He closed strong and won the unanimous decision. Out of Middletown, Ohio, here's Chris Wells. He played college football. He is now a teacher and a football coach. He comes in with an 8-1 mark.
I like him. He was a lot of fun. He was an All-American football player at Thomas More College, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and oddly enough, he wants to keep the fight standing and knock his opponent out.
Now face, you're good. Yeah, little left.
From Johnsonville, North Carolina, Rhomez Brower, 10-6-1 overall. His full-time job is a barber working at Fort Bragg Army Base.
Wrestled in high school, also added Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and boxing. Look for him to be able to put it on the ground and pound, but if you look at his record, it's peppered with KOs, so he's got good hands.
And looking at the tail of the tape here for our main event, Rhomez Brower, Chris Wells, both about the same size. They have experience. It will be interesting to see a stand-up fight or a ground game tonight. As we get ready now for our main event, Chris Wells and Rhomez Brower, these guys are very strong. They're stronger than even 185. You think of these guys more like light heavyweights.
Yeah, they're both very, very powerfully built. One is an ex-football player, the other is an ex-wrestler. Both are looking to try to get ground and pound going. Left hook by Wells. And Mr. Brower's capable of big-time KOs.
We've got the contrast of the wrestler against the boxer. We'll see how it turns out. And here's Sean McClure with the ring introductions.
Introducing first, the fighter to my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 185 pounds. He has a mixed martial arts record of 8 wins with 1 loss. From Middletown, Ohio, Chris Wells! His opponent to my right, fighting out of the red corner, has a mixed martial arts record of 10 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 188 pounds. From Johnsonville, North Carolina, Rhomez Brower!
Listen to me, both of you guys. Do you have any questions about the rules of this fight?
No.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
You fight clean, fight hard, you'll be able to commence at all times, touch gloves. And before you go, I need to tape your wrists. Go back to your corner. Go back to your corner. Doc, I need tape. I need tape. I need tape. Yo! I need tape. You guys have to have tape there. No, you gotta find the edge. You guys always have to have tape by the here. Oh. That is bullshit.
I got to rap it 20 million times.
That's all right.
And here at historic Louisville Gardens, we get ready for the American Fight League main event. Chris Wells, Rhomez Brower. Brower is the boxer. Wells is the wrestler.
feeling each other out here. Not pressing the action yet. Seems as though Brower has the reach advantage.
Which is right up the alley of Brower. Majority of his wins have come by way of knockout. Wells, though, shoots in. Brower sprawls out, showing defense early.
And that shot was from Lexington coming here to Louisville, a little too far away to be effective. You should be much closer on a double.
And about 85 miles away if you're looking on the map.
Ooh, that left hook just grazed him. And I think that is Wells' power punch right there.
Wells said, I have some punching ability. I'm a wrestler, but remember, I'm also a football player. As we talked about earlier, was a Division III All-American at Thomas More College in Northern Kentucky after transferring from Kent State.
Actually attended an NFL Combine. Visions of Zach Thomas, a smaller, shorter linebacker.
What's interesting is Wells played at 205 in college. He said, basically, I'm a 170-pounder as a fighter. I've actually put on 15 pounds for this fight with Brower.
Oh, he looks good.
Wells now showing his punching ability. And trying for the takedown. Brower takes the punch and will not be put to the mat just yet.
Corners screaming knees, but neither one of them throwing knees.
I wonder right now if Brower can get in, or rather Wells can get in close enough to get a knee in with the position.
Well, if you're going to try a takedown, maybe you should do it up against the fence where he can't sprawl away. Muay Thai clinch by Brower. Watch for a knee.
Brower just missing with that out of the clinch.
Nice little elbow off that clinch as well.
2.5 minutes to go here in round one, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Chris Wells in the darker camouflage, shooting in, trying to get the takedown, and sprawling out is Brower.
Wells is shooting the takedown like a person trying to tackle. He's actually almost pushing Brower away with the type of motion. Nice left hook.
And Wells again with the kick. Wells being aggressive here in the early going. Realizing that Brower is always one big punch away.
I'd go back to the leg kick.
Well, Brower did. Wells was able to duck a couple more punches though and try his own back kick. Brower still trying to measure Wells. He's not even trying to move in there and flick out his jabs right now, which we thought that he might do here in the early going. And again, it's Wells going for the takedown, and Brower's able to escape it.
And he got that left underhook again, and as long as he's got that underhook, Brower, you see the arm under the armpit of Wells there, that is a good leverage to go ahead and rip the upper body up, and it keeps Wells from getting the double. Now he's got what we call a crossface.
Moving now under a minute in round one. Wells has been the aggressor here in this first round, and look at him pick up and slam Brower to the mat.
Well, he finally got him up against the fence where Brower couldn't sprawl away, and he finished the double. Now let's see if he can posture, in other words, get vertical with his back and chest so he can start punching.
One thing Wells has done effectively here in the first, he has been able to swing and use his low kicks enough to keep Brower out of his strong point, which is his stand-up game.
If you let him stand in front of you and you try to move in, you're going to get popped. But if you start making him worry about taking out his leg with a kick, you got a better shot of getting in there.
I wonder if Brower might have been a little surprised that Wells actually was there to take a few swings at him.
Nowhere do I have in my notes that Wells likes to kick, so fighters don't give away everything, and it's a smart tactic.
Seconds ticking down, and Wells continues to go to work here in a very impressive first round for Chris Wells.
Well, he finished strong, and that's the last thing the judges see.
Take a look, action here with Chris Wells.
And even with that crossface, if you can't sprawl and get your legs back because of the fence, Wells able to pull the hips in, lifts him, drops it. And that was the only takedown of the first round.
It was the first round where Chris Wells was content to work on his kicks, try to get a few punches in there. And Rhomez Brower not able to get into his game. Hey, look at Chris Wells. He said, I hope my legs are holding up. He just went mountain climbing Colorado and returned from there about 3 days ago. I mean, serious mountain climbing, like 28 miles in a 2.5 day period.
Now that's altitude training as well.
It's amazing. That would be, I would think like he would do that a month ago.
You wonder about the timing of it, but altitude training is something that is effective. We did it with the '84 Olympic team. There are a lot of athletes in endurance sports that will move up to the altitude because you become more efficient in processing oxygen.
Chris Wells, who calls himself the Christian Warrior, fighting out of Middletown, Ohio, where he's a high school history teacher and football coach, comes out for the second round. Will Brower out of Johnsonville, North Carolina, be able to get some of his punches in? And again, there's the threat of the kick by Wells.
Seems every time Brower throws the right hand, Wells is instinctively throwing his left hook right back.
And again, it's Wells. And Wells with the big left hook. Chris Wells has been real impressive. Brower trying to get him into a choke. He may be in trouble now as Rhomez Brower is working on that choke with that strong right arm of his.
He's down there, but I think he's okay right now.
Interesting that Chris Wells has thrown more punches in this fight, and Brower now is working to try to get a choke in. You figure it would be the opposite.
Well, he got out of that. He had his head turned. He was in a pretty good position. You want the back of the head against the chest to really sink the guillotine.
George Giselle, you might have heard him there, letting him know, keep the action going or he will stand them up.
Now let's see what Wells can do with ground and pound. We'll find out what kind of guard Brower has.
One warning, keep moving.
Wells has turned the corner a little bit. Can he get the side mount?
Push that knee down.
Wells trying to move in here.
You guys gotta keep moving, come on.
Brower is on the defensive now. An attempt a few seconds ago at a choke that failed, and that's been about the only offense we've seen from Rhomez Brower. It has been Chris Wells dictating the tempo of this fight.
See if Wells actually backs Brower into the fence so that he can't move. Stationary target, easier to hit. And there he goes, up against the fence.
And Brower feeling the strength of Chris Wells. Wells actually picking him up and moving him along. Just like a blocking sled when Wells was a football player.
Oh my Lord, nice move. He's got a Kimura going.
Now look at Brower.
He's got a Kimura
He
going.
has the Kimura and he's trying to end it. Chris Wells has time run out on him here. Rhomez Brower trying to end this with a Kimura. Look at the brute strength of Chris Wells as he rolls out of that. For the moment, Brower's still trying to hang in there.
And he's doing the right thing there. Go ahead and whack the midsection.
Get up.
And the referee stands them up.
What about standing him up at that point?
I don't know. It looked like there was a submission attempt. Now the side was open and he was whacking away. He stood it up anyway. I don't know why.
Under 2 minutes, Wells shoots in. Brower sprawls out. And now Brower is on top.
Now Brower's got some jiu-jitsu background. Let's see if he can work a submission attempt. He's got a closed guard, heels are hooked.
2
I'm gonna stand you guys up. Let's go, guys.
You might have heard again. George Giselle, the referee, said, I'm going to stand you up.
Well, I can understand that here. They're full guard, not moving much. But the other one, there was all kinds of stuff still kind of going on.
Stop, get up.
And they will stand up.
Get up.
And someone's bleeding pretty good here. I think it's Brower.
Respect, man.
Because it's on Wells' chest. That double leg is not going to work that way. He's diving at it.
Blood coming out of the nose of Rhomez Brower. As Wells continues, look at him, just bullish. Pushing him against the fence. Now he shoots it at the midsection. And slams him again. Another takedown here for Chris Wells in the second round.
Yeah, Wells is starting to open it up now.
30 seconds.
But he's getting away with that dive double. If Brower brought a knee up as he's diving in, that could end the fight right there.
Brower has talked about his Muay Thai, so you figure he certainly has that in his arsenal.
Cardio now starting to come into play.
Seconds to go here in round 2.
And a good round for Chris Wells. Able to control the fight, basically keep it in his favor with him on top striking.
As we get ready for the third round, we'll take a look back now at some of the action here from the second. And it's Chris Wells who has dictated the pace throughout this fight.
And there, a right kick by Brower with a left hook from Wells. Wells drives him in, goes for the double, eventually gets a takedown, and here a fight over the arm. Brower getting a sweep and trying to work a Kimura here. And I don't know how Wells did it, but he muscled his way through and countered that out. I'll tell you, these have been some very entertaining fights. Good matchups.
See in Brower's corner. As he comes out for this third round against Chris Wells, there's a good look at Wells, who after this fight will be getting ready for football practice in the August heat.
2-a-days.
Said he still loves them. He's been doing them, he thinks, all of his life as a high school and college player and as a longtime high school coach. Here it is, third and final round. And just a little equipment problem on the
malfunction. Equipment malfunction.
Chris Wells had to help tie him up there a little bit. And now Wells is ready to go. Going into this, it looks like Brower will really need an incredibly strong round.
He is shooting from Lexington, I'm telling you. He's way out of range for that double.
And Brower now pushes Wells into the corner right in front of us here in the cage. Brower perhaps sensing the urgency. He could be down 2 rounds to none coming into this last one because Wells has been the aggressive fighter throughout.
And if you wonder why Wells is crossing his legs that way, it's to prevent Brower from stepping over and mounting him.
Brower's has been the victim of takedowns by Chris Wells and the recipient of more punches, which is surprising that Brower has never been able to get into his fight game because he does have a height advantage and a reach advantage.
He's dropping short elbows right now on Wells. And that can pay some dividends. But he's not moving his hips at all. A couple of these here.
Big knee again by Brower to the right side of Wells. Brower, a record of 10 wins, 6 losses, and a draw. The majority of his wins in the form of knockout. Said basically he's a stand-up fighter. That would be his preference. He may have to try to do something on the ground here. Did not get a submission attempt successfully in the last round. He was trying to work on that Kimura back in the last round.
He should be throwing that right hand a whole bunch right there. He's got the arm pinned down by the knee. And Wells' arm arm is getting out in front there. He needs to keep it in against the body, otherwise he could hook up an arm lock, and he's got it.
He's trying now to work one more time. He's trying to get the Kimura in. Is he going to be able to finish it off this time? Brower may need a submission to win this fight. He's working hard.
Try to push that wrist towards the waist.
Chris Wells is all out trying to fight it.
Good position by Brower. He's just inch at a time working the arm. He may get it.
And the right eye of Wells is opened up, perhaps with an elbow. He is bleeding profusely from the right eye.
Doesn't seem Brower knows where to take that arm. He should be trying to lift with the left arm, push the right hand underneath it.
Now
there you go.
This is what Brower may need. But look at Wells trying to get out of it. Wells with blood covering his right eye. I'm not sure he can even see out of that right eye. And look at Wells turtle up right now to buy some time from Brower.
His corner was screaming, grab the head, but I don't know if you can see it. But that would have been the right thing to do. Try to stack up Brower and get out of any danger.
Chris Wells, blood continues to pour out of his right side of his face. Looks like he may have gotten an elbow in that right eye area. But he continues to hang in there with Rhomez Brower.
Brower needs to posture. There you go.
Now he's in full mount, his best chance, and you see the little hip shrug there by Wells to take Brower off balance.
That's all it took to break the balance. If Brower could have held that, he could start punching. But he's choosing to lay forward. Fatigue, a big part of that.
Fatigue on the part of Brower. Chris Wells, he keeps getting a second and third win. And there you see that gash now under his right eye.
And he knows he's bleeding.
A lot of the blood is still on the mat. He was covering his face a moment ago and he was pushed along.
I'm going to stand you up. I'm going to stand you up. Come on.
George Rizal now saying he's going to stand him up again if they don't pick up the pace here. As this fight is nearing an end, and getting the reverse is Chris Wells.
30 seconds.
Under a half minute to go, and Wells, look at this. He's regrouped and trying for some ground and pound of his own.
And doing a good job of it.
What determination by Chris Wells. Chris Wells is not going to be denied. Right in front of us, Wells continues.
He's dropping punches, and that's it.
What a strong finish by Chris Wells. A gash under his right eye. Having to stay on the defensive most of that third round, but he closed out the way he opened this fight. Wells and Brower going the distance here in our main event.
It shocked me that Wells had that much energy, but he knew what to do when he had the opportunity on top. He finished strong in that last 20 seconds with ground and pound. I gave him the second round. He had the only takedown of the first round. This is going to be a close fight.
I think Chris Wells is going to get a unanimous decision, would be my guess.
Should be, I would 2 rounds for Wells, 1 round for Brower. So that should be reflected in the score.
There you see Jeff Brower trying to get that Kimura in, was never able to pull it off.
Finish it. Yeah, it almost seemed like he gave it an effort and then dropped, like he wanted it to happen all in one effort. Not a sustained, constant pressure. If there's one thing I've learned about rolling around doing jiu-jitsu, it's sustained, constant pressure. Not one effort and let it go.
Well, it is in the hands of the judges to make the decision here on the main event between Wells and Brower. What a terrific effort by both, especially Chris Wells coming out, showing us some punching ability in the early going, maybe kept Brower off his game. And let's go back to Sean now with the judges' decision.
We have a decision. All 3 judges score this bout 29-28 for the winner,
Chris Wells now goes to 9-1, earning a hard-earned decision at that, a unanimous one over Rhomez Brower. Chris Wells, just back from his mountain climbing expedition in Colorado, here in Louisville, Kentucky, wins the main event. Let's go to Ron.
All right, with the winner, Chris Wells. And Chris, you said you've watched mixed martial arts on HDNet for years. Well, how's it feel to get a win on HDNet?
I'd just like to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Can we get a hand on that? I'd like to thank my friends and family. I'd like to give a shout out to my Hamilton football players, my grandma, my dad, my sister, and Heather Marie Ratliff right there in the front row. And all my Brazilian friends, Chiamo, and Deus te abençoe, saudade.
Chris, Brower really went to work on your arm, especially in that third round. Looked like he almost had a Kimura. How close was he, and how were you able to survive?
The submissions weren't that close, but the pounding he gave me was. I wasn't going to quit, but he's a very strong guy. Hit me some good times.
Yeah, he did. Let's take a look at some of the replays. Tell us what we're seeing here.
Let me see. He's got a great position. We're both tired. I flip him back over. I think I go to work on the body a little bit. Toward the end of the fight, right here, I know there's like 30 seconds left, so I try to unload a little bit.
Now you're used to fighting at 170. You put on almost 15 pounds for this fight. How key was cardio?
I haven't trained in about 3 weeks. I hurt my rib. Then I went and climbed some mountains out in Colorado. So I did some hiking, but no training for 3 weeks. So cardio was tough.
Chris, enjoy this victory, and I got to tell you, that eye looks fantastic in high definition.
I love this eye right here. Hey, thank you, everybody. I love y'all.
All right, guys, back to you at cage side.
Thanks, Ron, and how inspiring will that be when he rounds up the guys for those two-a-days? Hey, look how tough your coach is. Chris Wells coming away with the unanimous decision. You've been watching Friday Fight Night on HDNet. The executive producer of HDNet Sports is Daryl Ewald. Our producer-director has been Dick Steele. Remote engineering by Jeff Miette and Dan Neighbors. Production manager Mike Hurd. Post-production editor J. Scott Meacham. For my broadcast partners, Jeff Blatnick and Ron Kruk, I'm Kenny Rice. So long from historic Louisville Gardens.